Like these training videos, check the subscribe box right there. Today's video is going to be on distractions, how to deal with them, how to recognize them, but most importantly, how to correct them. This is on Chapter 10 in my book, Canine Trailing, The Straightest Path. Step 1, we've got to have the trail laid. I want to make this relatively straight, only a couple hundred meters long, and without anything else really going on. I want good productive source, an easy place for a track. Now it's going to be very important that midway point, somewhere in the middle of this track, that the trail layer puts down some semblance of a marker, because we're going to have our distraction head to that marker from a perpendicular angle a little bit later. Once that marker's put down, the trail layer is going to continue the track to the end point and just get out of sight. The whole purpose of this track is strictly the distraction and nothing else. 15 to 20 minutes later, our distraction handler is going to head out with a dog. I like to use a dog as our first distraction because this is usually the primary nemesis for our trailing dog. And if we can have a dog that pees on command, even better. Our distraction handler is going to head towards the marker, and once he's there, he's going to try to get his dog to pee. If pee won't work, the other thing you can do is lay the dog down and try to rub as much hair off as you possibly can. Once the dog has either marked that spot with urine or you've put some hair down, what we want our handler to do is move off with that marker in hand and then turn around and come back and get out of sight completely. This distraction trail is only going to be based on scent and nothing else. Later on we have some different types of distractions that we're going to be working on, but for right now it's just the scent distraction only. So once the distraction trail is set, we're going to want to get ready to work the dog, because we want this distraction trail to be relatively fresh within a couple minutes of the dog working, because we want it to be high value. We want the dog to be triggered by it. Now, what are we looking for once we start the dog? To begin with, trailing behavior. We want to make sure that dog is in odor when we start. Generally speaking, one of the things that happens is we're going to get a proximity alert to the distraction before we get there. That's even when the wind is not great. You're usually going to see some type of behavior change, a head pop upwards, and some interest going forward. The next thing that happens is the distraction detection. This is when the dog actually physically hits either the track, the urine, the hair, whatever it might be, and decides it's thinking about taking it. And then the final distraction phase is the commitment phase. This is when the dog actually takes the distraction and starts following that track. When do we correct? What's the most important time? Really, it's when the dog is first thinking about it. So if you can hit that proximity alert stage when the dog is first detecting the air scent of the distraction from a distance, that's the time to correct. Okay, so let's narrate this in real time. We bring the canine out and we start the dog on the scent article. She peels off a little bit to the right, as you're going to see, primarily working blown human odor. And as she begins to work back to the left, you're going to see her pick up the actual track line, the physical track line itself, right here. Shortly thereafter, we're going to begin to encounter the air scent of the scent pool of the distraction track. You're going to see that here in just a little bit as the dog begins to peel off to the right. This is it right here.
Okay, that's your distraction.
Right now we're starting to encounter the scent pool of the distraction. The dog's trying to isolate the actual distraction itself, which is right there. The canine handler gives the correction, leave it, let's get back to work.
Don't go. You got to get back to the track. And boom. Now we're good.
It's really a great thing if you can read the body language that you're getting into a distraction, but the reality of it is that the distractions oftentimes look like the trail. The key to all of this is the dog learning that it's not cool to jump, that they can't take a distraction trail. And you have to do this by learning what your dog has a proclivity for, what does he have an interest for, and then slowly but surely adding these to your trails and then teaching him not to take them. And these simple setups, just like this, are the easiest way to do it. Generally speaking, the arch nemesis of most dogs are other dogs, and oftentimes cats, and even sometimes deer. You can use just about anything to set up these types of distraction trails. Thanks for tuning in to another GA Canine Training video, folks. And if you have an interest in seeing more, make sure you hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.